is it that nowadays, once you tell a man no, that's it too. Bye-bye. Gone are the days they try to be persuasive and be on your case for months. What is going on? What's happening? Is it that true love no exists true again? Yeah, they don't just move on to the next. What's in happen? Please tell me.
I've decided to move into another direction.
That's how you feel. I gotta respect it.
What? And that's all you have to say. If that's how I feel, I'm gonna respect it.
You seem like
you said your one-liner. If that's all you have to say, let's hug and let's just let it go. You ain't trying to fight for nothing.
You seem like you've already made your decision.
It ain't about me already making a decision. You don't have a rebuttal for nothing that I'm saying.
You seem like you've already made your decision.
I want you to say something. You're not saying it's not time to listen. It's time to talk. All of the things you say, you want to be there. You're here for me. You're all about the future and everything.
Ladies, I cannot stress this enough. Guys have no clue when you're hitting on them. They're not playing dumb. They genuinely don't see it. Trust me, the only people picking up your hints are the other ladies in the room watching him fumble. So, idea, because low-key men and women do still want to date each other, what if we start helping each other out? Ladies, start telling guys when girls are hitting on them. Better yet, start telling guys when you're hitting on them. Think of all the missed opportunities. And you can really make it that simple. You can straight up tell a guy, just so you know, I've been hitting on you this entire time, and he will be like, me? Or like, bro, she was definitely hitting on you. For the whole rest of this week, dude's gonna be like, if you see something, say something.
Of course, if you see something, say something.
Things girls say versus what they actually mean.
Tune in.
I'm just not really ready for a relationship right now.
What she's saying here is I don't want a relationship with you, but I'm gonna still keep you around for the attention.
I just don't want to ruin our friendship.
She just doesn't find you attractive, but she likes the attention and validation you give her, and she doesn't want to lose it.
I'm not really ready for something serious.
She wants to keep her other options open, but she's gonna keep you around just in case.
I just don't post you because I like to keep that kind of stuff private.
She doesn't want the other guys to think that they don't have a shot with her.
Follow for more.
When you become a mature man, you want peace. That means more to you, someone who's agreeable. Because you can have a hot chick and she's a pain in the rear. And I hate to say it, a lot of super hot women or super attractive women are annoying. Because,
yes,
and I'm not saying everyone, but they get that way because they don't have to work on their personality because they get so much attention based on their looks. So they don't have to work on anything else. They could be sitting across the room from a guy, they don't have to work on nothing. Men are like dogs, you know, they want to come and get that one woman because she's incredibly beautiful, but she don't work on her character. Or she want to be a boss babe, or she doing all this other stuff that's really unattractive to the man she want. She can get men, but the man that she wants is not going to be in a relationship with her if she cannot be a peace and agreeable with the man.
So if you guys had boyfriends and then your guy says, hey babe, I'm gonna go to a party, it's a house party, it's a bunch of stars, and they all want to have sex with me. Some of them have like roofies in their pockets, but like I'm gonna like try to avoid it. Like your man wants to go to a party with a bunch of some cute, some not so cute stars, and they all want to have sex with him. How comfortable would you feel with him going to that party?
If they want to have sex with him, then obviously if he wants to go, he wants to have sex.
So that's the equivalent of when a girl's at the bar.
No.
A lot of y'all...
But the men are not stars.
You're at a place where everyone there would have sex with you.
And wants to.
And wants to. And there's also dangerous creeps that are willing to like put some in your drink, whatever. So what would happen if your man was at a place where everyone wanted to have sex with him? You would hate that. But if I don't want my girl to be at a place where I know everyone wants to have sex with her, I'm a bad guy who's like insecure.
Insecure.
You really need to adjust your attitude.
For questions or complaints, please contact the manufacturer.
What's the worst thing a man can do on a first date?
Think he's gonna get some.
Expect sex?
Yes, that's the worst thing.
But you don't think that a good, true, fruitful relationship can still grow from that?
You're a man. Once you get the goods, the chase is over. You're not chasing anything anymore. So what is it that you will want with that woman that you already tasted the ultimate prize? Like, she already gave it up. It's like, I don't think you guys are made to build a relationship after the woman is so easily with you.
But couldn't the same thing be said about a woman giving it up to a man on date 3 or 5?
Women are made to love. Men are not.
What are men made to do?
See, your instincts are not to love. It's to satisfy yourself, right? But you need to work at falling in love as a man.
All right, let's dive into modern dating. We're going deep on a Black Coffee Podcast episode, a discussion about how men and women see things differently these days when it comes to dating.
Yeah, it's classic, but this one got really raw and unfiltered.
So we're going to unpack these different views.
Exactly, so you can understand where both sides are coming from.
Yeah. And maybe even get some insights into your own dating life.
Definitely.
Okay, so right away, the guys on the podcast were like, the chase is dead.
Yeah.
Persistence is pointless.
Right.
A no means no.
Yep.
And guys are moving on faster than ever.
One of them even said, and this is a quote, "What will I be asking for again? I don't believe a man should be on a woman who have already told him no," which sounds harsh.
Yeah.
But I think he's getting at a bigger change in dating culture.
Okay.
Especially with online dating.
You mean because there's just so many options?
Exactly. So many options out there. Why waste time
Right.
if someone's not interested? Time is precious.
Okay.
There's also a growing sense of like self-preservation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But here's where it gets interesting. The women on the show pushed back hard on this whole Chase is dead thing.
Really?
Yeah, they were saying that guys are missing their flirting cues.
Oh, so like the subtle stuff.
Right.
The kind of flirting that maybe only other women even pick up on.
Right.
Interesting.
And one woman said, guys have no clue when you're hitting on them. The only people picking up your hints are the other ladies in the room watching him fumble.
Wow.
It makes you think, have we lost that art of playful flirting?
Yeah.
Is direct communication the only way to go now?
It's a good question.
I'd love to hear what you think.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Do you relate to this at all in your own dating life?
And speaking of communication, things got really heated when the podcast started talking about honesty versus playing games and dating.
Oh, yeah. The guys were not happy with what they saw as women playing games.
Really?
They want clarity, straightforwardness. One of them even said, "Why can't you just say the truth instead of lying to me?"
Oof.
Yeah.
I bet that didn't go over well.
You guessed it. The women pushed back right away,
Yeah.
defending themselves
Right.
against being manipulative. One of them said, "It doesn't work like that, fellas."
So basically, a total disconnect.
Yeah.
Men feel like women are hiding something,
Right.
and women are saying there's more to it than that.
Exactly.
So what's going on here? What's fueling these totally different approaches?
I think it's a mix of things.
Okay.
Fear, insecurity, societal expectations, all of it.
Right?
And it really comes out when they talk about high-value women.
Yeah.
The guys on the show seem to think high value equals difficult or demanding. And they really valued peace and agreeableness above everything else.
One guy even said, a lot of super hot women or super attractive women are annoying.
Yeah.
They get that way because they don't have to work on their personality.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Pretty strong words.
Definitely. He's making a huge generalization.
Yeah, totally.
Reinforcing stereotypes.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder, what does high value even mean?
Right.
Is it just looks? Or is there more to it?
Yeah, good question. What qualities do you find valuable in a partner? It's something we should all think about.
For sure. And that takes us to another big argument on the podcast of like men going to parties where other women might be interested in them.
Yeah, that got tense.
Definitely. The woman on the show was not happy about what she saw as a double standard.
Right, compared to what men expect from their female partners.
Exactly. She basically said, if your partner is going to go out and do single people things, then that's what they should be.
Wow.
Which gets at the heart of trust and insecurity in relationships.
Yeah.
And how differently we all see what's acceptable.
It's like, where's the line between having a social life and putting your relationship at risk?
Right. And that's a question every couple has to figure out on their own.
Definitely. But the fact that it caused such a big fight on the podcast shows how sensitive it is. This is getting pretty heavy. Let's move on to something a bit more, well, maybe not lighter, but definitely more provocative.
Yeah.
So things got really interesting when they started talking about sex on the Black Coffee podcast
Oh, yeah.
and how it affects like relationship potential.
Right.
This is where those old ideas about men and women really came out.
Yeah, the guys on the podcast seem to think that once you've been intimate, the chase is over.
Okay.
And they lose interest in building a deeper connection.
Interesting.
One of them actually said, men are not made to love. It's to satisfy yourself, but you need to work at falling in love as a man.
And I bet the woman on the podcast wasn't too happy about that.
Nope, she pushed back hard, saying that men don't automatically lose interest after sex.
Right.
It goes back to those societal norms we were talking about.
Right, about men and women and how they approach sex.
Exactly. Men are supposed to be all about physical desire.
Yeah.
And women are all about the emotional connection.
But it's obviously way more complicated than that.
Absolutely.
So it makes me wonder, can you actually build a lasting relationship if the physical stuff happens first?
I think so.
Yeah.
It depends on the people.
Okay.
And if they're both looking for the same thing.
Right. Makes sense.
And that's something they didn't really talk about on the podcast, those conversations about what you want.
Oh, you mean like setting expectations?
Exactly. Being honest about your intentions.
Because if one person thinks the chase is over and the other wants something more.
That's a problem.
Yeah, a big problem.
It all comes down to communication.
Right.
Making sure you're on the same page.
And being honest with yourself, too, about what you really want. Okay, so we've covered a lot. The chase, flirting, honesty, those high-value women, and even sex. Seems like there's no easy answers here.
Nope, not at all.
And that's what makes it so interesting, right?
Definitely. I mean, this Black Coffee podcast really shows how different men and women can be.
Yeah.
And how they approach dating and relationships.
So how can we use this to actually make things better?
Well, the most important thing is self-awareness. You got to figure out your own beliefs about dating.
Okay, where they came from.
Exactly. Like, did you get them from your family, your friends, movies?
Right.
And are those beliefs actually helping you?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Because they could be holding you back without you even realizing it.
Exactly. It's like checking your love map.
I like that.
Making sure it's leading you to the right place.
So once you figure that out.
Then you can focus on communication.
Right, which doesn't just mean saying what you want.
It also means really listening.
Even when it's hard.
Especially when it's hard.
That's tough.
It is. But those are the make or break moments.
Right, when someone disagrees with you.
Exactly. Can you handle that?
Yeah.
Can you be honest, even when it's uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Can you disagree respectfully without blaming anyone?
Right.
That's where real intimacy comes from.
And speaking of intimacy, I keep thinking about that sex on the first date debate.
Yeah, that was a big one.
The guys thought it ruined everything.
The chase was over.
Right. And the woman was like, no, there's more to it.
Hmm.
So what do you think? How does intimacy affect a relationship?
I think it comes down to intention.
Okay.
Like, what do you both want?
Right. Just a hookup.
Or something more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if one person's thinking it's over and the other one wants a relationship.
That's not going to work.
Not at all.
So you got to have those conversations early on.
Oh, you mean the what are we doing here talk?
Exactly.
Which can be awkward.
It can, but it's better than getting hurt later.
Right, because of mismatched expectations.
Exactly. Clarity from the start is way more romantic in the long run.
I like that. So basically, this whole deep dive is about challenging what you think you know.
Yeah.
Being honest.
Yeah.
And really trying to see things from the other person's point of view.
And having fun, too.
Right.
Dating can be tough, but it can also be an amazing opportunity.
For what?
To grow and learn about yourself.
That's a great way to put it. So as we wrap things up, we want to leave you with one last thought. In a world where dating norms are always changing, what can you do to make things better?
How can you make things better between men and women?
It's a big question.
It is. Maybe talk about it with your friends.
Your family.
Even your dates.
Because we can all do our part to make dating more fulfilling.
And more equitable.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Man, we really went deep today.
Yeah, no kidding. All that stuff about the chase and flirting.
Honesty versus games. What makes a high-value person? Even how sex changes the game.
It's complicated.
For sure. And the Black Coffee Podcast, they didn't give us any easy answers, right?
No, not really, but I think that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. Everyone comes to dating with such different experiences.
Totally. Like baggage, hopes, what you're even looking for in a relationship.
Yeah, it's also different.
And the podcast really showed that, those different perspectives.
Especially between men and women. Which honestly makes dating feel kind of scary sometimes. Like you could step on a mine at any second. What advice would you give to our listeners after all this to make it a little less intense?
Well, I always say start with yourself. Before you even try to figure out the other person you know, really look at what you believe about dating.
Like, where did those ideas come from?
Exactly. Was it your family, your friends, even movies? And the big question, are those beliefs actually working for you?
You mean, are they helping you find good relationships?
Yeah, or are they holding you back?
Yeah.
Without you even realizing it.
Ooh, that's a good point. It's like checking your internal map, right?
It is. Making sure your love map, so to speak, is leading you to the right destination.
I love that. So once you've done that, figured yourself out.
Then you can focus on talking to your partner. And I don't just mean saying what you want. It's got to be a two-way street.
You mean listening to them too?
Really listening, yeah. Even when it's hard to hear what they're saying.
It takes some serious maturity, right?
It does, because it's easy to get defensive, especially when dating already feels so vulnerable.
Totally. But you're saying those moments when you disagree.
Those are the make or break moments for a relationship. Can you both be honest even when it's uncomfortable? Can you disagree respectfully without blaming each other or playing games? That's where true intimacy comes in.
It's about building that trust. And that makes me think about the whole sex on the first date thing again. Guys were adamant it kills the chase.
Right, game over.
But the woman is like, hold on, it's more complicated than that. So what do you think? Does having sex early on ruin your chances for a relationship?
It really boils down to what both people are looking for.
Okay, like their intentions.
Exactly. Is it just physical or are they open to something deeper? You got to be on the same page. Because if one person's checked out and the other is falling for them...
Oh, that's a recipe for disaster.
It is. Heartbreak waiting to happen. So having those awkward, what are we conversations...
Early on, even if it feels unromantic.
Yeah, it's crucial. Because trust me, clarity from the start is way more romantic in the long run than getting blindsided later.
Okay, so to sum all this up, we've got to challenge those old beliefs we have.
The ones we don't even realize are affecting us.
Right. And then be honest with ourselves and with our partners.
Absolutely, even when it's scary.
And try to understand where they're coming from.
Even if it's different from our own experience. And at the end of the day, dating is all about connection, right?
It is.
It's messy, it's beautiful, it's confusing, but it's two people trying to figure out this whole love thing. And the more open and honest we are, the better our chances of finding it.
That's so true. And on that note, we want to leave you with this. In a world where dating is always changing, how can you create more understanding between men and women? It's a question worth thinking about. Maybe even talk about it with your friends, family, your dates. Because we can all make dating better, more fulfilling. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.